What is up, everybody? It is the Dark Conservatarian, and welcome to another episode of Strike Force News. I am your host, of course, the Dark Conservatarian, and I have no co-host thus far. But before I get down to actual business, I just want to point out that this live stream, this entire channel actually, is brought to you by patrons like you. Cat Chat, Mikhail the Stray Cat, and the Conundrum are the first three subscribers, or yeah, sure, subscribers, patrons thus far of the program. If you all care to become a patron yourself, link is down below. Consider donating if you support this content that much. And if you're a high enough dollar patron at 20 bucks more precisely or more, you will get the chance of having a video of your choice, me doing an edited response video to it, and of course other advantages that come with the lower tiers as well and whatnot. And also another thing that I want to get out of the way, a little bit later this evening actually, at about 9, I am booked for something else to go to. I have this one private call that is going to be a little political discussion, pre-recorded political discussion, that is hosted by Nate the Voluntarist, and I'm gonna end up joining that, so this is likely going to be a shorter than normal episode of Strike Force. So sorry to say about that, y'all, but nonetheless. But that is also why that I have started a little bit earlier than normal. As you might have noticed the time right now, as it is 7:24 or 7:22 according to my computer anyways, Central Standard Time at least. And so yes, that is why that we are here this early. And to check out the live chat here thus far, Metal Doomer in the chat says not dark enough. Kidding. Yeah, I know. I don't have a dark enough humor. I really gotta brush up on that, Metal Doomer. I gotta keep the persona a little bit more intact, like Magog of Morscar does, in order to like really make this show really investable. But nonetheless, I'll become one when I get my okay, we'll keep that in mind, Metal Doomer. Thanks for the offer right there. Jesse Armitage, hello, how you doing, buddy? If Eminem was non-binary, he would be called Theminem. Nice one, T. Douglas McIntosh. So yes, still nobody has joined the call yet. So, this is a little bit of an old subject, not gonna lie. It's about Gina Carano, more specifically, but I only just recently, like under a month ago, saw the video from some black guy covering this subject, and it just really irked me, and I really badly wanted to respond to it. But first, before I actually get to some black guy's video, I wanted to just feature a little bit of the Kavernacle's video. And between these two, I will say credit where credit is due. Some black guy is considerably more fair than Kavernacle. Of course, Kavernacle is like the king of uncharitability as far as I am concerned. Nightshift 10,000 in the live chat. Hey DarkCon, are you gonna be at the capitalism special? Yes, I am gonna be at the capitalism special, buddy. But anyway, as I was saying, Kavernacle, this is like an even worse video, and as you can kind of see by the ratio, as implied at least by the ratio, it's pretty bad. I'm not going to make us suffer through the whole thing, as it's about 24 minutes long, but I just want to like watch 5 minutes of it. It is like really bad, really insufferable and nauseating and infuriating, to where that I don't think that I would be able to keep my composure enough in order to actually articulate every single point that I want to make at this video, because it just really can piss one off. Link for this video down in the description box below if you want to see it yourself, but I'm probably more than likely going to do an edited response video to this whole video at some later time in the future. Of course, not in the near future, because I got other editing priorities, but nonetheless, for right now, let's watch at least the 5 minutes that I wanted to feature of this video.
So because I've accepted that I'm going to be demonetized, I'm just going to read you the post. So,
alright, so that first of all I wanted to say, I don't know if it's just purely just YouTube being a whole bunch of wimps on this, if they consider this post to be a demonetizable offense, or if it's that and Kavernacle is sort of agreeing that it is toxic or whatever, provoking enough to be demonetizable, if that's even a word. But basically, it's of course about the Jew meme or the Holocaust comparison meme that Gina shared, which is what he's about to read and what he's afraid of him getting demonetized over. But whoever is being a wuss to think that this is deemed worthy of being demonetized, even if you're just quoting somebody else sharing it, that is a real pussy move. Not gonna lie.
She shared, the Jews would be in the streets, not by Nazi soldiers, but by their neighbours, even children. Okay. Quote, because history is edited, most people today don't realise that to get to the point where Nazi soldiers could easily round up thousands of Jews, the government first made their own neighbours hate them simply for being Jews. How is that any different from hating someone for their political views? Again, this is problematic on so many levels. Do I really have to spell it out to...
Yes, you do, because not everybody is of the exact same worldview as you, Kavernacle. Admit it. Not everybody agrees. Sorry to say. Metal Doomer says based in regards to Gina, I guess. Yes, I agree, Metal Doomer. And Arkham Knight Rider says, gotta admit, Gina looks hot in that yellow dress. Yeah, she kinda does. But not everybody has the same point of view, Kavernacle. In fact, at first glance, it would not seem that bad of a statement. I mean, it's not like she was questioning the statistics of how many people died during the Holocaust, or even outright denying that the Holocaust didn't happen, or saying that the Jews, what happened to them, it wasn't that bad, or even outright saying that they outright deserved it. So, again, nothing bad from it on the surface anyways. The only reason why it is made so controversial is because people got all so uppity over it to spread around the hashtag fire Gina Carano hashtag.
Anti-SJW is what she's doing. It's also interesting that they don't try and defend what she says a lot of the time. They're just trying to defend the free speech angle.
Alright. I do not know about everybody, like in the Geeks and Gamers community in particular, who Kavernacle seems to have a very big hate boner for. I don't know about them, but I know for certain, at least I'm pretty sure anyways, that Ben Shapiro, for example, was somebody that more or less defended what Gina was saying. He said that, yes, it is a hyperbolic analogy. He said it like plenty repeated times that the meme that Gina shared was making a hyperbolic analogy, comparison, whatever, to today of the left trying to get everybody to hate conservatives, comparing that to how the Nazis are trying to get Germans to hate the Jews. He called it hyperbolic, but at the same time, he said that he understands the sentiment that Gina is trying to share around. I have agreed with that sentiment. I have my co-hosts, my repeated co-hosts on this show, not this particular episode, but for this show, say that it defended themselves as well. And I'm pretty sure that there are like thousands, if not millions more conservatives that are espousing their sympathies with the actual statement itself. Not just saying that it's just a free speech issue. So I do not know where you are getting this idea that not hardly anybody, particularly anti-SJWs more specifically, are not defending the actual statement itself, just defending it from a free speech angle.
But basically, she's minimizing the Holocaust.
And this is what absolutely pissed me off earlier this morning when I was watching, or rather listening to this during work. He says that Gina is minimalizing the Holocaust. Kavernacle, how far up your ass do you have your hairy head? Seriously. She was not minimalizing the death or the persecution in general of the Jews, dipshit. The closest thing that you could accuse her of is of maximizing of what conservatives are suffering nowadays. Maximizing the hate being thrown at conservatives. That's the closest thing that you could accuse her of. But minimalizing the Holocaust? Where the ever-living fuck do you, or anybody who sympathizes with you, get that fucking idea? Huh? Like, she was saying that, she was saying essentially that with the hate that is being espoused against conservatives, that, and, you know, Democrats trying to get leftists to hate conservatives, and, you know, with the Biden's plan of getting the DHS to have this anti-domestic terrorism, program to track down people with anti-government extremism or any other kind of political extremism that could possibly that normie conservatism could possibly fall under. She was saying that is just the buildup of getting us to the point of, like, let's say, start executing people for their political beliefs, just in the same way that the Nazis were executing Jews just because of their ethnicity. If anything, yeah, she wasn't doing it at all in the least bit. She was not minimalizing the suffrage, or the suffering, excuse me, of the Jews at the time. You're just making shit up.
Because there are multiple things wrong with that post. The Nazis did capitalize on anti-Semitism. They didn't invent anti-Semitism, for one thing.
Who the fuck was claiming such, Kavernacle? Seriously, are you just stating this in general just for some innocuous reason? Or are you trying to say that in response to somebody? Like, who the fuck seriously is saying that Nazis invented anti-Semitism? Well, why even mention this point? Fuck. Metal Doomer in the chat says, how is that minimalizing it? Does he actually explain why, or is he just gonna say statements like they are factual and not back them up? For the most part, he is making assertions without actually substantiating them or backing them up. Team Douglas McIntosh says, swallowing glass shards to own the libs. Wait, what? Swallowing glass... I know that you spelled class shards, but I think you're saying glass shards. We're meant to say that, T. Douglas McIntosh, but what do you mean by swallowing class or glass shards to own the libs? I'm a little bit confused by your statement there. More like telling lies to own the right. That's what I say that Kavernacle is doing right here. Is that he's just making shit up, quite bluntly, telling lies to trigger the right. And if anybody gets quote-unquote triggered at this last few seconds of statements from Kavernacle, I'd say that they're justified. Because holy shit, was that a dishonest interpretation of Gina's beliefs right there. Minimalizing the Holocaust. Utter bullshit.
Jews were always a persecuted minority in Christian Europe. It didn't just start during Nazi Germany, but of course things like the
She wasn't saying the opposite again, asshole.
Protocols of the Elders of Zion being written in Russia in, I think, 1903, the Bolshevik Revolution, World War I, added to the feeling that there was a Jewish conspiracy to take over the world. And most powerful countries, including America, had many high-ranking people who believed in this stuff. But let's also get into the belief that we've just had a Republican president for 4 years. At the start of his presidency, he had a majority in Congress and in the Senate. Most media in America is dominated by conservatives, white conservatives at that.
I'm just wondering who the fuck he is defining as conservatives when he says that statement right there. I mean, if you are going to say, for example, start calling people like Chris Matthews and Keith Olbermann and Chris Hayes, etc., if you're going to start defining those types of people as white male conservatives, well, then that just goes to show of how skewed that your political spectrum is, Kavernacle. I mean, this is literally the guy that said that AOC is on the right, as Rational Outlaw has made a response video to this guy where he goes saying that there is no left wing in America, or not hardly any to be seen, and that AOC is really on the right and is not a true leftist. So it wouldn't be surprising to me if he starts calling mainstream media Democrat establishmentarian pundits like Chris Matthews, Chris Hayes, and Keith Olbermann, etc., conservatives, just because they aren't like full-bore socialists or communists or whatnot. So it's just a stupid statement on the surface from Kavernacle. Otherwise, I would ask him, what examples are you saying of people that are conservatives within the mainstream media? Yeah, like I know that there are the Sean Hannitys of the world and the Tucker Carlsons of the world that exists within American media. Those are obvious conservatives right there. and Steven Crowder if you want to go to the YouTube side of things. Who else are you thinking of when you call people conservatives? When you say most of the American media is ran by white male conservatives.
So the belief that being a white conservative in a country founded and dominated by white conservatives who hold most of the political power, that you're somehow comparable to an ethnic minority in Nazi Germany who were killed in the millions just for their religion, based on all these conspiracy theories and falsehoods pushed by people like the Nazis.
Okay, just because that conservatives do not make up as small of a minority of this country as compared to how many Jews, how small of a minority they made up of Nazi Germany at the time, it does not erase the fact, or the statement rather, that does not automatically defeat the statement that the left is trying to get people to hate conservatives so as to build up to the point of where that we can start persecuting people just for their conservative beliefs. Like, say, for example, being against abortion, being for immigration control, being for free market capitalism, being for gun rights, etc., etc., etc. And Kavernacle, you go saying all these things, but in spite of the fact that the Republicans had control of most of the government from 2017 through 2018, that does not mean that there wasn't a huge swath of people that were still hating on conservatives just for being conservatives and trying to get more and more people to hate on conservatives. In fact, you are a staple example, dude, of somebody who is trying to provoke hatred against conservatives. As at a later point of this video, he goes calling conservatives psychotic just because they embrace free markets. You can listen to the video yourself. I do not know which timestamp I cannot remember which timestamp it was, and I'm not going to try to fast forward to find it. But just know that it's there, and I'll feature it when I get to the edited response video of this. But here's the thing, Kavernacle. Not only is there the people that are trying to demagogue other people against people who just hold conservative beliefs, there's also the fact that nowadays you have the Biden administration pushing the DHS to roll out a program that would start to target people who have quote-unquote anti-government sympathies or have racist beliefs, etc. And considering of how many people call conservatives racist just because they don't believe that systemic racism is a thing, just merely even mildly support the police, or do not believe in open border immigration, and so on and so forth, that really leaves wide open the possibility for people to start targeting conservatives just for that reasoning alone. Anyway, so to catch up with the chat, I do not know how much further we'll go. I'm definitely not going to go any more than 2 minutes with this video anymore, but Metal Doomer says everyone goes through that. Everyone goes through... T. Douglas McIntosh says it was a joke. I was making a parody of the Own the Libs thing. Okay, I gotcha. And Metal Doomer, what do you mean by everyone goes through that? I'm confused by what you mean and who you're saying that to. He's a dishonest prick. Right, yes, indeed, Metal Doomer. Kavernacle is a big-time dishonest prick. No, they are not. I think that's to Kavernacle. To Douglas McIntosh. What the fuck kind of drugs is someone on to think that AOC is on the right? I don't know. Ask Kavernacle where he keeps his stash. This dude doesn't know what he's talking about, says Metal Doomer. Indeed. Daniel Hempel says that, how does anyone think that MSM is not bent to the left? I don't know, Daniel. AOC is socialist, says Metal Doomer. I completely agree. Daniel Hempel says Metal Doomer. I would say AOC is a communist. Wouldn't argue with that. Metal Doomer says, but you stay silent when those so-called conspiracy theories are right. What's the difference? Okay. That statement right there, that last statement was to Kavernacle, I think. And what's the difference, Daniel, says Metal Doomer? Okay. Anyway, moving on.
Again, it's really, really stupid, and like I said, minimizes the Holocaust totally. So
no, it does not, dipshit. If this is your standard, what's up, Loudmouth?
Who's this dipshit?
The biggest dishonest hack in all of socialist YouTube, Kavernacle.
Really?
Yeah.
Worse than Lance of the Serfs? Worse than Hunter Avalon? Worse than all those dumbasses?
No, I'd say definitely worse than Hunter. I do not know how much of a comparison I can make him to Lance of the Serfs, but he's really fucking bad. And I kind of wish that I had Rational Outlaw on here to sort of explain, because he has watched more of the guy's content to see what he's all about. But yeah, this guy is just a full-on uncharitable hack, and even gets into the area of lying about his opposition.
Is he that dipshit that said that the mainstream media leaned right?
Yes, he said that a little bit earlier in this video.
Yeah, so all those Washington Post articles funded by the richest guy in the world and the CCP talking about how Republicans want to eat your flesh and kill your children or something. All those are indicative of a right-wing media.
Right. It's ridiculous. He just goes saying that most of the mainstream media is made up of white male conservatives, and it's all like, what the heck, dude? Who are you calling conservatives in that case?
Really? Well, what news network has majority conservatives other than Fox?
And I don't know if you heard that right there, but basically, Kavernacle just said that Gina Carano was minimalizing the Holocaust with the meme that she shared.
She was not minimizing the Holocaust. That's a load of shit.
It really is. And I do not know what stupid logic that this guy has rolling around in his head to make him think that. He's got a few gears in his head that are completely broken.
You have to be a dishonest prick to even suggest such a thing. She was not minimizing the Holocaust whatsoever.
You know what?
She was simply using it to make an analogy against spreading hatred against political foes.
Right.
Which leftists love to do, so they don't like being having their bullshit thrown back at them.
You can't. You are like damn well likely correct, Loudmouth. Actually, I don't think Kavernacle is that stupid. Really, he might be just outright, flat out lying to say that she's minimalizing the Holocaust or whatever. The most biggest and blatant of lie. When I heard this fresh, the very first time I listened to it, it just pissed me off to no end.
All right. Oh, how many subs does this guy have?
32K.
32K, really?
36.7K, actually.
So he's got so this dumbass has an audience. God damn.
Oh yeah.
You see why I don't spend much time on the internet as I used to? Because it's fucking depressing, man. The stupidity that you see on display, the utter like degradation of humanity is just too much, man.
Oh, but we love your reviews, Loudmouth. Come on, come back to YouTube. Everybody in the live chat, get out your torches and pitchforks. Protest against Loudmouth to come back. No. I'm sorry.
Too much like stupidity out there. It's.
I'm just giving you a hard time by the way.
Yeah, I know, man, but it's just I can't handle it, man.
All right. Well, on the bright side, to maybe lighten up your spirits, is that this guy has quite the ratio going on, like more dislikes than likes.
Oh, that's good at least.
Yep. I don't know how much further I'm gonna go with this video. Probably only 1, maybe 2 minutes, and then we'll get onto the SomeBlackGuy video.
Some rich actress who says really stupid things and has really warped conservative views, because again, we're not talking about conservative views of the economy, which I often think are psychotic anyway.
Okay, there it is right there, folks. So when he says that it's psychotic, like he's labeling people on the right psychotic just for, believing in free markets, conservative views on the economy. So again, you're proving Gina's point right here, Kavernacle. People trying to stoke hatred towards conservatives and just generally people on the right, so as to maybe build up to the point of, there's something similar to the Holocaust against conservatives instead.
Speaking of which, how do you pronounce her name? Lee Lafay. How do you pronounce that actress's name? That bitch who played Mulan. All right, she openly supported the repression by a tyrannical regime, and Disney didn't fire her. So,
yeah.
Talk about minimizing the Holocaust. Supposedly, that's what Gina Carano did in this guy's mind, even though she didn't do that. But literally simping for an oppressive authoritarian regime currently in power is A-okay.
Right. I think he at a later point of this video, which I'm going to not get to that here on this live stream. I'm going to save it for an edited response video or something. But he mentions another actress who goes by the name of Christina or something like that, that he rightfully, credit where credit is due. Kavernacle accurately describes, you know, the geeks and gamers community to be pointing out that there is this one actress that goes talking anti-white sympathies, saying how white people are horrible and, you know, that kind of racism and whatnot. And yet she hasn't lost her job, so it's a big-time hypocrisy on Disney. I think that might be the biggest reason, or one of the big reasons why he has such a ratio for this video, is because he reveals his own hand by showing that, yeah, Disney is having a hypocrisy. They're letting all their left-wing celebrities, you know, flap off their gums when it comes to politics. But if a right-wing celebrity starts speaking out about politics, fired. At least in the case of Gina, anyways. You were about to say something, Loudmouth?
Nah, keep going. Just play.
Okay.
But she didn't get cancelled for saying we should deregulate the economy, or it should just be a free-for-all in the free market or something. She's posting stuff like that. And that follows other posts.
Oh, how horrible of her. You gonna cry?
That could be interpreted anti-Semitic, so have a look at this photo. It's a popular photo people share. But again, if you know about anti-Semitic tropes, you can see why this is problematic.
Was it, didn't Ice Cube share the exact same meme as that?
I think so.
So yeah, what does that say?
I don't know. And how are you going to assume that all of these guys are Jewish? I mean, are you sure that that was the intention from Gina, is to say, oh, Jews are evil? I mean, it's a really rather racially neutral meme that is being shared here. And not to mention, look at this. White guy, tan guy, brown guy, black guy. So you have all the rich that is basically stomping on people of all races for their own little game. I mean, the fact that you go assuming that just every single one of these are definitely Jewish and Gina is trying to, you know, stir up hatred against Jews is just stupid on your part.
Yep. She's also said stuff about lockdowns, and yeah, generally she's pretty toxic.
She doesn't want people locked in their homes for the rest of their lives. Oh no. Yes, that horrible tyrant Gina Carano wants people to be allowed to walk around free.
How toxic of her, yeah.
Yes, she actually wants people to be able to go outside and see their families. Oh no.
I thank God that most of my friends who were lockdown sympathetic were not like this asshole or Foamy the Squirrel or anyone else who was like foaming at the mouth for the lockdowns, who's gone saying that people are toxic for being, you know, against the lockdowns. Otherwise, I would have ended up losing more friends than I actually did.
I say everyone be locked in a clear, sanitized tube for the rest of their lives. Ha ha ha. In order to stop the coronavirus.
Oh yeah, totally. Locking people in their homes and very likely starving them because they cannot help themselves in the economy and with their own lives because everything else is shut down and they're locked in. That's totally not psychotic. But allowing people to take control of their own lives and take control, you know, of their own economic endeavors, totally so psychotic there.
Yes, we should also just buy stuff from Amazon so Jeff Bezos can fly to Mars, and all small businesses go under, so we can all be Jeff Bezos' little minions. That's the progressive thing to do.
Tell me, Kavernacle, when somebody goes promoting something like lockdowns that just inadvertently goes promoting Jeff Bezos' business and other people like him, is that totally not psychotic, or is it psychotic, Kavernacle? Just curious. And by the way, hello Myth Cuttlefish in the chat. Sorry they didn't greet you earlier, and hello Scorch as well. Anyway,
into my theory. So she's been toxic for a while. This is nothing new.
Toxic,
and after this
quote,
post,
unquote,
which is probably the worst one she put, Disney distanced themselves from her. But like I said in the news story, they said that she's not a Disney employee. So very quickly, it's announced that she is doing a Daily Wire project almost immediately. Does this not seem very suspicious? So Gina Carano hit.
So who the fuck cares? She's still. That does not, you know, free anybody else from their responsibility of, you know, committing cancel culture on her over petty bullshit like this. Doesn't matter. And that's his big time excuse, is that at a very later point of this video, goes saying that cancel culture doesn't exist because Gina Carano ultimately was able to pick herself back up, and goes mentioning other examples as well to say that cancel culture doesn't exist. Just because big-time celebs are able to recover or stay afloat fairly well does not mean that cancel culture doesn't exist.
From what I hear, Gina Carano, she's pretty well off. Like, she has kind of rich relatives.
Right.
She was like a former MMA fighter, so she's got money from that too.
Right. Oh, Metal Doomer says it's my 21st birthday tomorrow. Well, happy birthday, Metal Doomer.
Don't drink yourself to death.
Right. So apparently, if somebody was to like listen to the entirety of this video, according to Kavernacle, you are not canceled unless the cancel culture mob was completely successful for the rest of your existence till the day that you died.
So you're living under a box, basically.
You were not canceled unless that happens.
Yeah.
So that too high a standard is
Gina
just
Carano is currently not living under a box, therefore she's not been canceled by anyone.
Exactly.
SPAC announces new movie project with Ben Shapiro's Daily Wire. They can't cancel all of us if we don't let them. Less than 24 hours after her explosive ouster from the Star Wars series, The Mandalorian, for incendiary social media posts, Carano has hit back.
Incendiary, quote unquote. All the hyperbole from these people, the over emotionalness or whatever, the over emoting that they go doing over this bullshit.
I know.
Back at her detractors and revealed a new
insufferable.
Really is.
Movie project she is making with conservative website The Daily Wire. Carano told Deadline, "The Daily Wire is helping make one of my dreams to develop and produce my own film come true. I cried out and my prayer was answered. I'm sending out a direct message of hope to everyone living in fear of cancellation by the totalitarian mob. I have only just begun using my voice, which is now freer than ever before, and I hope it inspires others to do the same. They can't cancel us if we don't let them." So my theory is Disney already told her she's not coming back because of your social media posts, and it feels that way sort of in The Mandalorian, that she is being sidelined a bit more. And although people speculated she would be part of a spin-off show,
I'm just gonna ask, so the fuck what, Kavernacle? It does not really change the brevity of the story.
it seems like it's pretty easy to cut her. But yeah, I think she was pushed aside before this.
That's not true. The Heroes of the New Republic series was supposed to heavily feature Cara Dune, and supposedly there's rumors that like John Ferrigno has been trying to get her unfired.
You mean Jon Favreau?
Favreau, yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Favreau.
Fignero.
No. Sorry. God damn it, I'm an idiot.
No, I gotcha.
Favreau,
Jon Favreau.
Favreau, you're right. Yes, Favreau.
Jon Favreau.
Trying to like get her unfired.
I actually heard that from Doomcock, Overlord Media, or whatever the heck that his channel is actually called.
Yeah.
From Doomcock, that it's only rumors, so it's pretty much unconfirmed. It's not confirmed yet, but there is talks of Jon Favreau and some other guy trying to get back Gina Carano to sort of fight back against this mentality. So Jon Favreau, really one of the better guys within Hollywood, in my opinion anyways.
There have to be some decent people working for the Walt Disney Corporation, even if Bob Iger in particular, is an unmitigated slimeball.
Yeah, and I just want to say that, like, to all the Mauler people, the people part of the EFAT podcast, the Mauler fan base and whatnot, I mean, I think they are kind of unfair with how they go saying that then Jon Favreau is, like, not good at making movies or something like that, in reference to The Mandalorian. I mean, in spite of the fact that The Mandalorian have a little bit of a lackluster, nothing story, that does not mean that it's not at least somewhat of a quality series, especially relative to...
Good. Actually, I watched it. It was a pretty good show. Probably the best Star Wars product Disney's made since they got the property.
Right. And also, say what you will about Mandalorian, at least be a little bit more charitable about the guy, because if this rumor is in fact true, that Jon Favreau is trying to fight back against cancel culture and get Gina back into Lucasfilms under Disney, then he really is one of the better guys, and I think you guys should give more credit to him. But that's neither here nor there, really. And I think I'm just going to move on from that video because Kavernacle is a prick. So anyway.
All right.
SomeBlackGuy, he had a little bit of a mealy mouth take when it came to the Gina Carano situation. It was just really disappointing. Probably going to go fast on this. Cannot remember which point is when he actually gets to the point, but here we go.
Supreme victory.
So I'm a little bit late on this controversy. You know, people have been talking about it for pretty much like a week or so now. And now I thought, okay, a lot of you have asked me about it and you're asking me my opinion. So like, yeah, let me just talk about it. So Gina Carano, in a lot of hot water, right? But then maybe not so much because of how things have worked, how things work a lot of times where, you know, if there's a lot of backlash, a lot of controversy, and there's a lot of people that see that, hey, I don't really think you did anything wrong, a lot of people will rally behind you, and then you'll usually get other opportunities. But let me start from the beginning. For a lot of people that maybe have not been paying too much attention, Gina Carano, a lot of people, they consider her the what would you say, the grandmother of women's mixed martial arts.
Probably going to fast forward a minute. I think he's just laying the foreground of her background.
Was never in the UFC. You know, she could have been when Strikeforce got bought by the UFC, and she could have.
Oh yeah, and some little funny thing that I want to mention. Apparently, there's some show that is called Strikeforce. I mean, is somebody going to start accusing me of plagiarism just because my show is called Strikeforce, y'all?
You're gonna get sued any day now.
I don't know. Maybe I need to come up with a little bit more of a creative name for my show. What do you think would have been a better name for a news show like this, Loudmouth?
I don't know. I just called myself some guy on the internet with an opinion because I couldn't think of anything better.
Right. It works though.
Yeah.
Fought again, and they thought she was going to fight again in 2011, but it didn't happen. It was basically when she got TKO'd by Chris Cyborg in 2009, she was done.
A little bit more.
She's an artist that really transitioned very well into Hollywood. Like, she's had some pretty memorable roles. I really vividly remember her in Fast and Furious 6, I think it was. At least in Fast and Furious in general, when The Rock joined, saying she was too powerful. They almost wanted to say she was somewhat of like a Mary Sue, but I disagreed.
Oh, he's referring to people saying that Cara Dune of Mandalorian was a Mary Sue, and I have to agree with some.
Well, he was talking about her character in what is it, in Fast and the Furious 6, but I haven't watched that movie, so I don't really know. I can't comment on it.
Well, no. I fast forward a little bit. I jumped from the part where he mentions Fast and Furious 6 to where he goes talking about Mandalorian, and.
I didn't think so. I kind of liked her character. It was interesting when they revealed that she was from Alderaan. That kind of gives her an interesting backstory.
Right. I mean, I will say credit to SomeBlackGuy that it is ridiculous that people will be calling Cara Dune a Mary Sue just because I don't know, she's a kick butt commando basically in Mandalorian, which does not make any sense because it in of itself, how that she's so tough, makes more sense than Rey, for example, that he goes actually comparing here a few seconds.
Right.
The way that I saw her character, I didn't see it as a Mary Sue. I just saw her as, if you're a fan of sci-fi, there's strong women in sci-fi all the time, and she's just one of those. But more of an enforcer type, but like, it's just in there.
And Ripley from 40 years ago.
Right. Or Private Vasquez from Aliens as well.
Yeah.
I was like, people that are fans of sci-fi, they know. Like, she's just kind of your typical sci-fi character. Put in a woman that kicks ass. But not, you know, not like, say, the way that Rey did, where she just, like, for no reason started kicking ass. You know, I think that was kind of the annoyance was warranted with that. But anyway,
So I just wanted to lay that out mostly to say that SomeBlackGuy is not a complete SJW, so he still recognizes that Rey is a ridiculous character and pretty Mary Sue-esque. But, yeah. And I just gotta say, for any of those people that are saying that she's a Mary Sue, that Cara Dune anyways is a Mary Sue, I mean, not Rey. Rey is a Mary Sue, I will agree. But Cara Dune is not a Mary Sue. The only type of people who are actually saying that unironically seem to be like people of the Angry MGTOW variant, you know, Loudmouth?
He's still around. I was hoping that guy...
I don't know. I just think of him when I say of people... When I think of people who go saying that any strong female character at all is a Mary Sue.
Well, that would be more of the no bullshit kind of thing.
Oh, yeah. Of course.
Yes. It had a suspicious number of women in it.
Yeah, of course you had this kick butt commando lady riding along with Mandalorian, and she even kicks Mandalorian's ass a few times. So it just seems like SJW propaganda to be having a strong female character here that is able to kick butt a Mandalorian. Like a Mandalorian. These are no. I'm trying to put on my best no bullshit impersonation, but anyway.
Yeah.
Myth Cuttlefish in the chat says John could have written more backstory for her, especially since he wrote Cara for Gina specifically. maybe, but it was still enjoyable for what it was.
I think he was planning to, like in the Heroes of the New Republic series.
Right? Let's hope that he gets his way.
Yeah.
The reason why people were so angry is because she's conservative, but she's conservative in a way that she likes to flap her gums a lot. And, you know, there's a lot of people that are like, you know,
What do you define as flapping her gums a lot? This is when the hot takes come in more, is about the 350 mark. What do you mean by flapping her gums? What are you defining as that, SomeBlackGuy? Is it celebrities who go talking about politics in general? Like, then we have a lot of people.
Left-wing celebrities are way more obnoxious all the time.
Right.
You ever read Seth Rogen's Twitter feed? It's horrible.
Oh yeah.
God.
I mean, in that case, we have a whole lot of celebrities that end up flapping their gums. It's like not a special thing with Gina, and if she's flapping her gums, then everybody is flapping their gums. SomeBlackGuy, yeah. Don't berate her like that for just speaking politics. Scorch Volunteer says, LOL, oh god, no, don't speak like no BS. No, I promise, I will not speak like in the same monotone and condescending monotone that no bullshit does. I will talk in my own awkward monotone.
I don't know, it seems like there's a too many women here. I gave him Hulk erectile dysfunction.
Right.
Speech, like, and it's like, sure, but you also have to remember, how bad do you want your job? You should really try to be smart and calculated with what you're doing. Will your politics get you in trouble with, affect your work? This is something that normal.
Are you taking into account the fact that Disney still has lefties allowed to speak their political beliefs without getting fired? It's, again, a hypocritical standard, SomeBlackGuy.
Extremely. Again, how do you pronounce her name? Goddamn, the actress who played Mulan. All right, the things she said were like 1,000 times worse.
Right.
Like, and Disney allowed that.
Right, and just the way that SomeBlackGuy sort of delivers his message here, he makes it out almost like it's okay that she got fired, that it's an okay thing, instead of just calling, for what it is, wrong. That Disney was wrong and the people calling for her firing were wrong and all that. But no, he just sort of dances around that and gives all these excuses for why it's supposedly understandable. He's just being too much of a centrist. He's being a fence shitter on this.
But what is it? A lot of like the hashtags that went to try to get her fired on Twitter. A lot of them were actually created by Disney employees who hated her. That was what some leaked internals seem to suggest.
Right.
Like some in the Kathleen Kennedy faction of Lucasfilm.
Yep.
People have to worry about all the time. A lot of times people try to separate celebrities from normal jobs, right? Like just acting or whatever, or being in the limelight. And I'm like, it's not that different. I mean, a lot of times the biggest difference is, okay.
Well, you're right. It's not that different, actually, SomeBlackGuy. I'm glad that you could admit that, because here's the thing. Hey, Loudmouth, have you ever seen any of those memes go around on the internet saying the talking point about how that I am not your employee when I am outside of, working outside of the job, when I'm no longer working on the job and I can just do whatever I want with my life? Have you ever seen those types of memes?
Yeah.
I just gone seeing those shared around by my millennial and Gen Z friends quite often, and it just makes me go wondering, can we hold that same standard for celebrities, that celebrities can speak whatever political opinion they can without getting fired, that Disney is no longer responsible for them, and they are no longer responsible for Disney as long as they are not, on the job?
Well, if they're going to have the standard that their employees can't make political statements, then they ought to enforce it consistently. They don't.
Right. I mean, at least that. If you are going to take the no celebrities talk about politics approach, but Disney, I don't know. They either are selective with that policy, or they're just outright hypocrites, or they just hate Gina, or who knows?
That's an understatement. They've been insane with the policy. Literally supporting genocide is okay, but having conservative politics, saying that people shouldn't hate each other is bad.
Right, and
People shouldn't lock each other up forever is bad.
I will say that unless that somebody is literally advocating for illegal shit to happen, like Gina Carano was not even being sympathetic or even advocating for like Capitol riots or anything else like that. So yeah, nothing illegal along those lines. As long as a person is not advocating for anything illegal, is not saying anything illegal, then it's okay that they can speak on politics and they should not get fired from it. I mean, plain and simple.
She has supported a lot of protests against lockdowns, but I thought the left supported the right to protest, except when they don't.
Right. And hello, Common Sense Guy in the chat. How are you doing? How is it there in Britbong land? Says, hey guys, how are y'all doing? Zach, you really need to learn about hashtags and tags in your videos and streams to get more people to your channel, dude. I will definitely have to remember that. Actual hashtags for my videos. They can't decon. Disney has a social responsibility department, says Myth Cuttlefish. Well then that's ridiculous. That's sad. They need to get rid of it. Anyway.
Social responsibility. What a joke. They're the most despicably unethical company, entertainment company on earth.
Right.
How many times have they censored their movies to get released in communist China? I mean, and what they did in the making of Mulan was one of the most despicable things. It's not even something that I think is just morally reprehensible. It's something I think should be criminal. If it's legal to do that, it shouldn't be. There should be serious legal penalties for supporting a genocide. Or it's not okay to support genocide to line your pockets with a few extra bucks.
Are you talking Are you just talking about resourcefully supporting a genocide, or are you talking about verbally supporting genocide as well?
Well, they did both, really. They openly endorsed the organization. They thanked the organization that's engaging in a genocide.
So do you think that everybody who goes saying that China didn't do nothing, people who go saying stuff along those lines should be arrested or fined or something like that?
If you're financially supporting this, it really is
okay.
It really is reprehensible. Because here's the thing: every time you do business in China, part of that money goes to the Chinese Communist Party, and what do they do with those dollars?
Yeah, I will agree. At least somewhat with the idea of punishing somebody for giving resourceful assistance towards China for their holocausting of Uyghurs and etc. I just don't know about verbal, or I'm not saying that you are advocating for suppression of that kind of speech. People
I'm not really advocating for suppression of speech. I'm saying that it shouldn't be legal for American companies to just do business with a communist regimes like this, that are engaging in genocide. It should not be okay. Right. The way it's been normalized is just disgusting to me.
Yeah, and to draw an equivalation, Gina Carano here was not funding any Klan rallies to be lynching black people.
Right. Where Disney literally helped them to fund concentration camps. They shot their movie like in the same region where these crimes against humanity are going on. What's real funny is the CCP has got like all these propaganda YouTube channels where they tour around Xinjiang with cameras to show there isn't a genocide going on there. I'm like, who's stupid enough to fall for this shit?
Right.
Well, it's be like in 1930s Poland, snapping a few photographs of the trees in Poland. See, there's no genocide going on here. Do you see a genocide in this photo? No.
Yeah, especially contrast that to all the escaped Uyghur former inmates of those concentration camps coming out with their testimonies against the bullshit.
Oh, yeah, those are horrifying.
And Common Sense Guy says further in the chat, it's shit. Our government just passed a law saying that you get 14 years for criticism of the government if they deem it embarrassing. This is why you need a First Amendment, UK. Well, I'd expect it from Labor, but this passed via conservatives in power and then pushing it. This is with regularity laws increased on protesting. Damn. Well, then okay. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to say that suppression of free speech is a left or right issue, but nonetheless, Conservative Party seems shit either way.
Yeah,
doing your own producing
glad I don't live in the UK.
Yep.
your own thing? Is this your own job to where you have the security to say and do whatever you please, or are you working for someone? Most of the time, people are working for someone. So it's like,
was she on the job? Was she on the job when she did that tweet or whatever? If not, then Disney should not be firing her for this shit.
I don't know if I agree with that standard. I just point out the hypocrisy of what Disney's doing. What the shit they let slide is what pisses me off.
Okay, yeah, the hypocrisy is the most infuriating thing, and I guess in a free market point of view of things, ultimately they are like even allowed to be hypocritical for that matter, but they're also allowed to have a no talk of politics on any public forums while you're working for us kind of policy. If they feel like having that kind of policy, I mean, it's their business. Let them do whatever they want. But that I'm still going to be highly critical of that sort of policy. Some black guy. I mean, right. It's just, if I was to personally run a company, I'd say whatever politics that you want outside of the job. Just me personally.
Well, it can get you in trouble. You hear that though? Is it the Eternals might get banned in China, and the reason why is hilarious.
Let me guess. One of the actors or actresses is Tibetan.
No, because the director was actually Chinese. They selected a Chinese American director, which they thought would actually like give him more appeal in China. But apparently, there was an interview 8 years ago that she made where she was mildly critical of life in China and the way the Communist Party run it. And for that, she's been like blacklisted in China, and the movie could well be banned.
Oh. China doing cancel culture on a Chinese American director for a Marvel movie, y'all.
Yes. Which I would love if that happened, because I always love it when any Americans attempt to pander to the Communist Party blow up in their face. I just always love it. Right. Nothing against the director herself. She might be a fine individual. I don't know much about her. But Disney having pandering to the CCP blow up in their face is always awesome to me.
Hey, Disney, I got a question. Are you going to start pandering to the Chinese even more by firing this director and possibly get accused of being racist against Chinese people, ironically enough? Or are you actually going to, for once in your damned lives, modern day lives, start taking a stance against China on this? At least this.
Well, I mean, it's too late to fire her. The movie's already made. They might just not hire her back for the sequel or what have you.
Oh, okay, well.
Yeah, the movie's finished. It's already shot. They can't fire her at this point. Unless they want to, like, scrap the movie and reshoot it, which would be insanely expensive.
Oh, God.
Which they're not going to do.
Myth Callfish in the chat says, fucking China. Don't trust China. China is an asshole.
Yes.
Asshole.
Well, don't blame China. Blame the Chinese Communist Party. Always.
Scorch Volunteer says both left and right wants to suppress speech. I will say that there are like figures on both sides. That's why that I was hesitant to say that outright that it was a left or right issue. Suppression of free speech. Thanks for the chat comment, Scorch.
Right, about banning games for being too violent. Well, I've definitely never been for banning.
Oh yeah. Oh okay. Yeah. Clear example right there from the right one to. I mean, yeah. If you can consider video game speech, but anyway.
Video games are speech, and yeah, banning violent movies and shit is stupid.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes you have to watch what you say, you know. As someone that enjoys freedom of speech,
are they in the right though for firing her? That's the thing that I want to know from you, Derek.
And as far as like say, I'm not going to get in trouble with what I'm saying. I know it doesn't extend to everything. It doesn't extend to your job's going to be protected. And so I guess she was saying some stuff that was fairly controversial, you know, election fraud stuff, blah, 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 this and that. A lot of just typical stuff that happens, like, say, on the right. But it wasn't until she posted an Instagram story when she was like, you know, as conservatives, or we pretty much are persecuted like the Jews during the Holocaust. So Gina posted this on her Instagram story. I don't know if she wrote it specifically or if she was just sharing this. Either way, she obviously agreed with it. It says, Jews were beaten in the streets, not by Nazi soldiers, but their neighbors, even by children. And it says, because history is edited, most people today don't realize that to get to the point where Nazi soldiers could easily round up thousands of Jews, the government first made their own neighbors hate them simply for being Jews. How is that any different from hating someone for their political views?
I just want to say right now, since he read that fully, and I meant to say this earlier when we were looking over the Kavernacle video, that even if you disagree with the comparison that Gina is making right here, even if you think it's over the top, hyperbolic, or whatever, we can at least agree, right? Don't go hating other people just for their political views. I mean, that's the basic bitch thing of what Gina was saying right here. Even if conservatives never end up suffering anything along the same lines of Jews during the Holocaust and whatnot, can we at least agree, don't go hating people just for, you know, milquetoast political views? Just asking.
So she's talking about all the hate she gets for her political views, you know. So she's like, how is what is happening here any different? And the thing is, it's very different because we're probably in the United States, you know, and in the modern day times, we're not going to repeat those type of mistakes, those type of things that happened back in the day. Probably not. Now, I don't know how far in the future things might be.
How do you know that?
Yep.
You don't know the future.
Those
There's genocides happening all over the place in the modern day. Back to China, you know.
Yep. And
That's an industrialized modern society technologically.
that's one of the biggest things that is disappointing about this is that some black guy just seems to want to turn a complete blind eye to this. Like, I know that people want to try and live their lives to the fullest and be happy and not every single day of their life be completely 100%, 110% of the time black-pilled on all the issues. That's fine. But to say outright that this sort of shit ain't gonna happen again, I got a famous quote to say to you on that point, Derek. Those who don't know their history are doomed to repeat it. So,
Yep.
and do you not?
Yeah. How do you know that? You don't know the future, man.
And do you not know of what the Biden administration is rolling out with the DHS to be targeting people with supposed anti-government extremist beliefs and quote unquote racist beliefs and so on and so forth? Are you not informed about that, Derek? I mean, the precedent is being pushed for. There's at least an effort being made. Whether or not it actually happens and gets passed or whatever, that remains to be seen yet. But still, people are pushing for it. Stop being blind.
A huge full circle. Who knows? But in the time that in my lifespan, and what I'm saying is, it's kind of like weird to try to compare yourself to something so catastrophic, something such a horrible event in time. And
it is over the top, but whatever.
There's something very just delicious to people about being a victim, right? This is not exclusionary to just one.
Exactly
In what way is she being a victim or being?
I can kind of see his point on that. You could interpret that. You could.
Yeah, like I was going to say, like you're not totally wrong. If you wanted to say that it's victim mentality, supposedly to be saying that, oh, people are hating me just for XYZ, grammatically you might be correct, but how is she having a wrongful victim mentality? I mean, we would not say that people are having a victim mentality just because they almost got shot or whatever. That wouldn't be victim mentality, sure.
Well, she was fired for expressing views while again, left-wing celebrities can spout their mouth off all they want.
Right. So yeah, I guess I'll continue.
Particular party or one particular ideology. It's just like everybody tries to do this. It's like, woe is me. Like we're this is bad. I mean, we've slapped down a lot of, you know, progressive ideologues for.
You know, another thing, Derek. Disney is kind of proving her point. If you want to say that Gina is having an unjust, victim mentality by just saying this, imagine of how bigger the justification of saying that she's a victim is after Disney has fired her and she got singled out and hated for this bullshit. I mean, they're only proving her point. They're only making the case for her that, yeah, she is potentially a victim.
Saying, like, chill the fuck out. It's not that bad. You know, go home. Go outside and get some fresh air because you're probably on your computer all day. And then same shit on the right happens.
I feel like he's talking about me in my earlier childhood where I played computer games all the time.
I feel attacked.
Right.
Like, this is an example. Actually, I remember, you guys remember Laura Loomer, right? Tigergate and a
Oh,
bunch of other
God, there's no comparison. Okay. what Loomer did was totally undignified right there.
All right, you might be able to tell a little bit more about this because I'm not fully educated about this.
Well, the Loomer, she like posted that Antifa had slashed her tires, and she posted like a picture of it, and everyone was dunking on her after, like, those aren't slash marks. Looks like you just a tire rod or hit a curb.
Yeah.
And she's like, she threw like a tantrum for days. Why is no one defending me and my tires?
Yeah, I mean, the hole would be a lot.
It was completely undignified. It's so stupid.
The hole would be a lot smaller if that was really a shank or something.
No, it wasn't. What's funny is the Michelin Man account, Twitter account, was dunking on her, saying, yeah, those don't look like slash marks, but praise bring them in, and we can have sturdy repair.
Look at the rest of the texture of that tire too. I mean, it looks kind of torn up right up there and along there as well, leaving the evidence that it looks like that she brushed against something hard.
Yeah, which that happened.
The curb.
I had a flat tire myself like a few weeks ago. It sucked. I was stuck on the highway for like 2 hours.
Yeah, I actually accidentally curbed a work truck one time on the job. It was nasty. Anyway.
Well, they showed wide. Like, I couldn't see any rips from the outside, but like on the inside of the tire, there was like these. There were probably these bulges, and I don't know. They just randomly burst, and then I just went flat.
Right. Scorched Volunteer says, yeah, when my tires got slashed, the holes were very small. Exactly. Scorched thinks I didn't notice one.
Slashed? That's horrible.
I didn't notice one until the next day. Right.
Yeah.
So she's done. I remember arguing with her on Twitter because she was saying conservatives are like Rosa Parks, or saying something like, essentially like Rosa Parks saying.
Okay, that right there, I will definitely say is exaggerative and over the top, because she's saying that conservatives are like right now like Rosa Parks. But again, like Loudmouth said earlier, that right there is not comparable to Gina sharing that meme. Gina wasn't even saying that it's happening right now, that, conservatives are being holocausted and rounded up into concentration camps.
Rumor was engaging in completely undignified paranoia, just having a freak out. Gina Carano was not doing that.
Yeah, she was only saying that the buildup is being brought up to that point. She wasn't saying that conservatives are suffering that right now, whereas Laura Loomer is saying that, that is happening right now, being pushed to the back of buses more specifically.
We're like
Rosa Parks, anyways.
Basically how it was during the Jim Crow days when you have to sit on the back of the bus. That's how conservatives are being treated nowadays. And I was just like, what are you talking about? Like, no. Like, we were arguing about that. I'm like, dude.
Again, not comparable, dumbass.
No, it's not. It's not on that level. Like, that is so. You're trivializing that shit. And that's why people were so mad. Some people were saying, this is anti-Semitic. I completely disagree with that. In my opinion, I don't think that.
Credit where credit is due. Some black guy thinks it's not anti-Semitic, whereas I think there's a point in Kavernacle's video where he does say that it's outright anti-Semitic of Gina.
Derek, he's being I don't agree with everything he's saying, but he's not like being like over the top or anything. Whereas the last guy, my God, that guy insufferable.
Indeed.
Like, that guy was the worst. This Derek, he's being man, he's just kind of being too too much of a fence sitter.
And I agree, fair enough. And maybe I'm a little bit too unfair to be calling some black a dumbass like I did a minute ago, but
yeah, whatever.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, reserve that for people who deserve
it. If you see this, some black guy, just know that I don't hate you, and I am, in fact, in spite of disliking this video, I'm still subbed. Just I find it a little bit too. I mean, to be quite frank, spineless. Your take here.
Yeah.
That is. Some people can try to make an argument that it is. I'm like, no, it's not. It's not, in my opinion, at all. Like, say, I don't per se think that this post or whatever is a big deal at all. I don't think it's a big deal at all. And as far as on the surface, I would say, people are saying, Gina did nothing wrong. On the surface, I mean, technically she didn't do anything wrong. Not really, but at the same time, it's bad optics. I mean, did she do something stupid? Probably. I mean, the whole thing is, look, we know how a lot of companies like to pretend they're progressives but they have no progressive practices, right?
Yes, Disney has no progressive practices. You're right, unless you consider supporting genocide progressive.
Right. I mean, bad optics, maybe for her personally, as far as being hyperbolic in her conservatism, but how is it bad optics for Disney specifically? How is it bad optics to the point where it's okay that she got fired?
They're all monopolies, and they'll crush any business. They'll do whatever it takes to get to the top. They're capitalism 101. They're not progressive in any way, shape, or form, but they pretend to be. It's all about like the image, right?
Sure. And
so Disney tries to pretend to be really progressive, and they try to be like, oh yeah, we represent this and we don't tolerate this or that. So that's why they came down on her so hard and they just fired her, which isn't really that big of a fireable offense. And I know, say, one of the other actors, I think within the same series.
I think I am going to cut it off right there, actually, because I think we're kind of slowing down on what we have to say in response to this. I can't.
Yeah, I'm bored.
Don't think there's a whole lot to say within the last few minutes, but the middle portion was a more frustrating part with SomeBlackGuy. I will say, again, SomeBlackGuy, even though I don't like this take of yours, still subscribed. I just find this, along with your take when it came to, the election aftermath on November 3rd of last year, to be a little bit off base and just a little bit too centristy. Like,
what was it? What was he saying about it? Was he saying, yeah, Trump lost, yada yada? I don't know.
She was saying that Trump lost, and was saying he was trying to equivocate the quote unquote meltdown of conservatives to the meltdown of liberals. Liberals.
Yeah, when people lose elections, it sucks.
Yeah, I just did not find it equivalent because, for one, the right did not do mass riots just on the idea that Trump lost to Joe Biden. I mean, there was what happened on January 6th, but that's about it. But even then, at least then, they were targeting who they thought to be responsible for their for the wrongdoing that they were having grievances over.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely one of the stupidest moves in the history of politics. It was embarrassing. Right. It was so... Like, I was just cringing all day that day. I'm like, oh, damn, you idiots.
Whereas the left was lashing out at everybody. So they were being bigger poor sports in a rather violent and destructive manner, more so than the right, for a longer time and more wide scale.
Oh yeah, the left are such massive hypocrites. It's not even funny. They supported rioting for months, excused it, but then they acted like, how dare these people try to riot and use violence for politics. I'm like, where have you been?
So I will say, criticize the right all you want for their reaction to Biden winning over Trump, SomeBlackGuy, but it just wasn't an exact equivalent like he was trying to make it out to be, like SomeBlackGuy was trying to make it out to be.
I don't know.
You would probably just have to go and see it for yourself and like maybe DM me your opinion about it. I'll send you a link sometime later. But anyway, moving on from the video response portion of this live stream, Delta variant now accounts for more than 8 in 10 COVID-19 cases. This is from Washington Examiner. Like, Loudmouth, what do you have to say about the Delta variant of the C word virus?
I mean, the virus was inevitably going to mutate. That's just how viruses are. They mutate.
Do you think that it's more dangerous or just as dangerous as COVID-19?
From what I hear, it's probably not much more dangerous, just might be a bit more transmissible, which makes sense, because what does a virus want to do? What's its purpose? To make copies of itself.
Right.
That's its main purpose. Like, a virus doesn't really want to hurt you. It doesn't have any mind, but it just has a desire to make copies of itself. It doesn't care if it hurts you in the process.
Yep. Myth Cuttlefish here in the live chat. Hold on a second. I'm going to go ahead and copy a link for my Discord server into the live stream very quickly, because she says some. She says January 6th was a false flag. The docs have been released. It was the gayest of gay government ops. The second chat comment, that's funny. The first chat comment there, I'm just all like, I don't know. I've yet to see any solid evidence of that. But if you want to provide the evidence yourself, Myth Cuttlefish, there's a link to my Discord server. Go ahead and join and send. links to my Discord of where you get your information. Sorry, Loudmouth?
I mean, there were people in the FBI involved, like in the crowd. The FBI has actually admitted that fact, but that doesn't necessarily mean the whole thing was a false flag. I mean, there definitely were but there were like tens of thousands of people there, and only like a few hundred were involved in any stupid or illegal activity.
Right.
So it wasn't like a mass insurrection. It was just a few hundred idiots being stupid.
Yep.
It's mostly all that was. It's been blown out of proportion by the ruling class tremendously.
Right. It was definitely a big old shit show. But what I was going to say about the Delta variant here is I'm not seeing a whole lot of reporting about the Delta variant as much as the original COVID-19. But
America Uncovered actually just did a video on it.
Who? America Uncovered?
America Uncovered. It's you know the guys who do China Uncensored. They also have like a side channel called America Uncovered where they talk about more domestic issues.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll go ahead and
the
check
Delta
out.
variant.
But my original thought was Delta variant does not seem that dangerous in the grand scheme of things. Like, yeah, I'm hearing about how it's more transmissible, but it isn't that much dangerous. And overall, I was just kind of ignorant about it. But, excuse me, to get down to the stats of transmissibility, it says that now 8 in 10 COVID-19 cases are Delta variant. This is a kind of a short article. The Delta variant now accounts for 83% of new COVID-19 cases, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. This is a dramatic increase. Dr. Rochelle Walensky, director of the CDC, told the Senate Committee on Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions on Tuesday. In some parts of the country, the percentage is even higher, particularly in areas of low vaccination rates. By early July, the CDC reported that the Delta variant accounted for 58% of new cases. But here's what I have to say about this article. We're going to take a pause right there on that one. Looking at this, worldometers.info. This is where nonpartisan tracking website of how many cases are existing in the United States. Total cases has been 35 million. Throughout the time of this coronavirus. Daily new cases has been dropping. And even active cases, look at this, active cases was from 9 million around February of 2021. Now it is like around 5 million. And deaths is dropping even lower from COVID-19 in general. So even though that the Delta variant seems to be like catching up, making up its own percentage of COVID-19 in general, it doesn't seem to be contributing to a spread of general COVID-19. Not effectively, anyways.
Well, the vaccine seems to be working. It's why cases and deaths are way, way down.
Right. So I'm not saying that, I'm not going to accuse Washington Examiner here of fear-mongering, and I don't even know any specific examples of fear-mongering, but if there are any examples of fear-mongering, this just goes to show a case example that, yes, Delta variant might be making up a higher percentage of active cases, but active cases are overall decreasing, so the fact that it's making up 8 out of 10 is a complete and utter nothing burger. It's nothing. The Delta variant appears to be driving another coronavirus wave. In the last week, the 7-day average of confirmed COVID-19 cases has jumped 40% to 27,776, according to the CDC. Deaths have risen at 37% to 218, and hospitalizations have risen 37% to 3,087. Is that in total across the United States, or it's probably just Never mind. The Delta variant, which is believed to have originated in India, may be more than twice as infectious as the original virus, according to research from the United Kingdom. Almost all recent cases have occurred among those who have not received a COVID-19 vaccine. Except, there's simple public message: get vaccinated or get COVID-19. Dr. Georges Benjamin, executive director of the American Public Health Association, told the Washington Examiner recently. Some hospitals are already feeling the strain in Springfield, Missouri. Health officials have submitted a request to the state government for funding to set up an alternate care site for COVID-19 patients. The increase in severe illness is projected to outpace hospital capacity, officials said in a statement. About 231 people are being treated for COVID-19 in Springfield area hospitals. I feel like that there's quite a bit of context missing here. I don't know. Washington Examiner, they're typically a right-leaning conservative website, but they seem to not be bringing up the other side of these stats. It's almost like that they're just running along with the for lack of better wording, fear message in regards of COVID-19 right here. And yeah, again, looking at this information, it doesn't seem to be adding up to that at all, really. Anyway, I think that is about all that I am going to say for right now. I don't have a whole lot of time for another story, and I got like I said, I have another thing happening a little bit later tonight. Gonna be joining a capitalism special being hosted by somebody else.
Yay. All right. Talk to you later then.
All right. Thanks for joining, Loudmouth. It was fun. I'm going to get caught up just a little bit here in the live chat, and then I think I'm going to take out of here for that. Myth Crawfish says it's a false flag because of the legislation that's coming out of it, i.e. Biden telling tech companies, I think is what you mean, tech companies to monitor and delete and give info on domestic terrorists. Well, yeah, I don't deny that they're like exploiting this event for their own political gain, Myth Cuttlefish, but just because somebody like exploits something for their own political gain does not mean that that event was a false flag. We need to be vigilant of this new strain. What with the lawmakers being super spreaders, they may want to shut everything down again because, you know, death can't possibly get everybody. Right? JC Armstrong says, yeah, they're certainly feeling the strain of all those nurses making choreographed dance videos on TikTok. Right, JC? What's this special you're talking about, asks JC Armitage. It's a special talking about capitalism, hosted by Nate the Volunteerist. It's talking about essentially what I think is going to be the main issue is talking about whether or not we should even use the term of capitalism, call ourselves capitalists, etc. There might be some other issues that are brought up in the special as well. Some issues that were brought up in the last year about in the last year. What am I trying to say? Some other issues related to this big old debate that I had been embroiled in with people over the internet. I mean, particularly Nate. I mean, I'm just gonna say it right now. Nate has been somebody that I have been on and off debating over the past year over the usage of the word capitalism. You all probably know if you seen my special edition of Strike Force responding to a couple of threads by him. But yeah, it's sort of about that. And I just want to say that things are right now, they are not heated or anything like that with Nate. Things are getting calmer, and hopefully by the end of the special, things will remain as calm, if not get calmer. Who knows? Okay, Scorch. Myth Cuttlefish in the live chat says that LMAO, you give them too much credit. Well, innocent until proven guilty, Myth Cuttlefish. Just saying. I mean, if somebody has some solid evidence to be talking about as to how that something did not really happen as it's reported or told to happen, and if that story seems reasonable enough, I don't see any reason to assume otherwise. Just because there's malicious intent or whatever being done in the aftermath of said event, reported event. Myth Cuttlefish says, I can't give it to you, but you can find it, man. Okay, well, I'm going to say again, hey, Myth Cuttlefish, do you have, no time, busy mom. All right, I understand. But Myth Cuttlefish, do you have Discord? Are you able to join my Discord server? Or are you already on my Discord server? All right, not gonna spend too much more time on this live stream. Just chatting with live chat here for a little bit, and then I'm going to head off. There's a lot of comments that I missed here, like the Condor JC says, "Yo, Jackie Chan wants to be a part of the CCP." Right? Probably is. It wouldn't be surprising. The right also wanted to ban movies and games for being too violent, says Scorch Volunteer, a lot earlier in the live chat. Did I already read that one? Maybe I have, but I'm not going to disagree with that assessment, Scorch. Left wants to ban hate speech and right wants to ban sex, porn, and disrespect. The last one is done under disorderly conduct. Many people get arrested for this BS, right? I mean, including the idea of criticizing cops or whatever, or at least that's what I heard anyways. Nope, not at all, says Myth Cuttlefish. Okay, well, tell me, like the next time that you go popping up in the live chat for my live streams or whatever, Myth, tell me when you do get a Discord. The moment that you get yourself a Discord, I will send you a link to my Discord server in the live chat there, and then you can join on along with anyone else who happens to coincidentally be in the live chat whilst I'm giving out as well. The invite will be free, although I do not typically give out free invites to just anybody willy-nilly. I mostly give it out to people who have been like long-time loyal subscribers, like you, the lovely Miss Milfed Cuttlefish. Or I give it out to patrons. But outside of that, I don't give out my Discord server link a whole lot just out willy-nilly. In fact, I actually have to solidify and refine some of the rules and add a few more rules to my Discord server before it gets really busy on there. Like a free speech protection, for example. JC Hamasai says, LOL, still like that nickname. Right, JC? By the way, I don't know if you or Myth Cuttlefish watched it, but I added that moment with S-Man in the Best of 2020 compilation. Go watch it if you haven't already. It's got some pretty funny moments in there. I just realized I'm not part of your Discord too, says Scorch Volunteer. Well, Scorch, look further up. There's the link that is posted around the live chat where you said a virus does not want to kill you. If it does, then it copies it dies too, which is kind of a scattershot live chat comment there, Scorch. But nonetheless, my Discord server link, invite link, is right above that chat comment of yours. So if you want a new link, there it is up there. JC Armitage says it. Yeah, I saw that part. Cool. Myth Cuttlefish says, we did. Good night, everybody. Be good. Well, good night, Myth Cuttlefish. And right now is when I'm going to actually say good night to y'all. Thank you all for watching. Live stream could have done a little bit better, but it's still got some initial success, and it'll probably grow. The ratings there will probably grow a little bit more over time, but nonetheless, I try my best. Anyways, for any of y'all who like this live stream, like what I and Loudmouth had to say, go ahead and click that like button down below. And if you're new to this channel, don't forget to hit subscribe and maybe join my Discord server if the Discord link still works for you by the end of this. Anyway, so see that? There it is. I'm the Dark Conservatarian. Y'all have a good night.